Hello and welcome to a mini episode of Predictocast, the podcast where we predict the plot of a movie we know nothing about. I'm Josh, and with me as always is Skinner. Hey, Skinner.
Hey, Josh. Hey, all you babies out there. I did that for a reason.
You did do that for a reason, and it's a very important reason. So we are going to be making some predictions about our next film, and that film is directed by an old friend of ours, Joe Dante.
That's right. We're doing Gremlins 2.
So if you stuck with us during our hiatus and listened to our Center of Weirdness podcast all about Erie, Indiana, if you haven't, definitely go back and listen to it. We had a lot of fun on that show. But Joe Dante was involved in the creation of the show and did a couple of episodes. And so we thought it would be fun to do a Joe Dante movie. We know a lot of his work, obviously. Gremlins and is the big one, clearly, but he's done a ton of other stuff that everybody knows. The Howling, Small Soldiers, all the stuff that is great. But we wanted to do something that was a little more obscure, because that's what we do on this show. We look at movies that not a lot of people have covered, that you perhaps don't even know exist. And that's why next week we are talking about the Osiris Chronicles, also known as The Warlord, Battle for the Galaxy, a TV movie from 1998.
Fantastic. Hey, this is so in our lane because A, it has two titles. B, it has Joe Dante.
Yes.
C, it's a TV movie. 3, it's a failed pilot, which we love to talk about shows that existed and no one remembers. And this was going to be one that no one remembered. Instead, it became a failed pilot that no one remembers.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah,
this was going to be John Corbett's breakthrough.
And he'd already broken through at that point, right?
Why would he do this otherwise?
I mean, you're working with Joe Dante.
Oh, I'm sure. He read that title, the original title, which is so much better, and he thought, I have to be part of this because this is the future.
Yeah, I'm looking at his IMDb. He was in Volcano in '97, the year before this.
That was a hell of a good time.
He was in the TV show The Visitor, which I remember fondly, about a guy who I remember watching a couple episodes of that. It was a Roland Emmerich show. He disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, and then he came back to Earth 50 years later or something, and there's aliens involved and all kinds of stuff. Did you ever watch that show?
No, I didn't, but this might have to go on the list.
Yeah, it was an interesting show. I don't remember much of it, but I do remember watching at least an episode. And he was in Northern Exposure. He
was in Northern Exposure. That's the main one. He was in 110 episodes over 5 years, which, by the way, Northern Exposure on for 5 years.
Yeah.
We all knew it was there.
Yeah.
We all were aware of it. We didn't watch a full episode.
But I think you're right, though. I think his big break was probably My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I think that's where most people
I don't know. I think people may know him as Aidan Shaw from Sex and the City.
Well, yes, but I'm saying I think his big breakthrough into the mainstream, the reason that he probably, I guess he was on Sex and the City earlier than that. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
that was a big movie. I know it's almost a joke now, but that was a big fucking deal for some reason.
Yeah.
I saw it in theater. I think everyone kind of did, looking at the box office.
I've never seen it.
You didn't?
No, never seen it.
I'm pretty sure at this point you don't have to see it because I think the moment has passed.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe you can watch the TV show or the 2016 sequel.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's our lead in this film. And as we like to do in these mini episodes, we want to look at kind of the sort of ancillary materials that are given to us. The tagline, the cover art, the IMDb keywords, to see what we might be in for and try to predict what we think this movie is going to be about. So for this film, which I've already forgotten the title of, the Osiris Chronicles, there it is.
Slash the
Warlord
Battle for the
Galaxy. I'm gonna have to title the main episode both of those so people know for sure which one we're talking about.
Absolutely. When we look back, we're like, as I do with so many of our movies, looking back at our old episodes, I'm like, what the fuck was that movie? And if I have two titles, I can what the fuck was Osiris? Oh, the Warlord, the Battle for the Galaxy. Now I remember what that one is.
Yeah. So our tagline, at least on IMDb, there is a different one on the poster, but on the tagline on IMDb is "All hell is about to break loose in the heavens."
Oh, wow. That could mean space aliens. It could mean Greek gods.
Ooh.
Or it could mean Greek aliens. My big fat Greek aliens.
He couldn't escape it.
Even before he was there, he was there.
Yeah. I mean, so does that does that imply like what you said, or is it going like the Doom route where there's like hell demons in space?
Is there a deeper hell than Greece?
I mean, it certainly looks from the poster art that we get, it certainly looks like a space themed piece of material.
What I like is that of the 7 characters, I guess, on the poster, if you look at the alien in profile in the background as one of the characters, 5 of them have their arms folded.
Oh yes, they're very standoffish. They're like, I'm not going to take this.
But we have like so many different looks. We have the alien who looks like he's from Farscape.
Yes, I was thinking the exact same thing.
We have this lady in a black uniform. She looks like she's from Battlestar Galactica. As does. We have this. He looks like a young girl who's dressed like a Bajoran from Deep Space Nine. John Corbett looks like he's from
the Mayflower.
The Mayflower. Scarlet Letters. And then we have this dude who looks like Billy Ray Cyrus today. And then we have somebody who looks like Mark Helgenberger / someone from Lex, the Dark Zone.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out her dress that seems to be trying to show off her tatas, but with no nipples.
I think it's one of those sort of those illusory dresses where you look at it and you're like, oh, are her breasts entirely exposed? And you're like, no, that's just this weird sort of kind of skin-colored fabric that is covering up things.
Do you think she's a sex alien or she's actually a robot?
Ooh, I mean, this is a TV movie, so I'm not sure how explicit they're going to be able to get, but I'm going to say she's probably a robot, and maybe we're led on we're like misled when we first see her because she's very attractive, and so there's all these guys after her, and then we find out later that she's a robot and doesn't care about their puny fleshy dicks. She's not interested.
I should mention that Lex the Dark Zone is a TV movie as well, but one of the characters is a sex slave who has been crossbreeded with a space worm.
Oh, wow! Wait, that became a show though, right?
It did.
Yeah, so it was better than this apparently because it became a show as opposed to this one, which
once
it did
again,
not.
We have to at some point cover an episode of the Dark Zone on this show, so I can show you like the level of got 2 seasons that a show can get, and this did not.
Yeah,
this does not have a space Newfoundlanders, though, so that makes a big difference.
Because Lex was on for like 5-6 years, right?
I think it may have 3 seasons or 2.5 seasons, but it was aired sporadically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can only give the audiences your space Newfie genre so much before they have to have a little break to really ingest it.
I do love that you mentioned that everybody here is basically got, like, the majority of the people in this cover have their arms crossed. Like they took all these photos separately, and they're just like, all right, cross your arms. And the guy who was mocking this up was like, yeah, okay. And I think the alien in the background also has his arms crossed.
I think he does. I like that he's looking down this older fellow with like there's a picture that I love to post on the internet of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z looking down with lust in his eyes. And he is giving this guy that look.
It's almost like this I mean, if you're listening to this, go look up the cover art for the Osiris Chronicles / the Warlord Battle for the Galaxy or whatever the hell it's called. You have to see this guy because it looks like almost like the old man, the sort of the admiral or whatever, whoever this leader guy is like a tiny toy or a figurine that the alien is clutching and holding, like, ooh, look what I just got.
Like, if you looked at this cover of the Osiris Chronicles,
or it's his child, maybe he's holding his child,
like of a new war is on the horizon is the tagline.
Yeah, that's the tagline on the cover there.
In very poor font. You would say that this alien is like a god playing with characters from different TV shows. There's no unifying aesthetic to anything on this poster.
Yeah, I know. It's very strange. Like it doesn't. It doesn't.
You almost think they took
fit.
their headshots from other things and put them on this.
I mean, I think maybe they were trying to do the thing of let's grab as many different sort of references as we can get and try to, like, I don't know, not trick people, but maybe trick people into like watching this thinking that they're getting something similar to what they already, enjoy.
Yeah, like if you like any of these genres of TV movies / pilots, you're going to find something you like here. Like Athena 2022, or whatever the fuck that was called.
Oh,
all these different things.
That was Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. Okay.
Yeah.
I had the wrong historical.
You might also have the wrong year. I don't totally remember.
Once again, no one remembers that. It is on the list. I'm gonna blow your mind on this one real quick.
Okay.
Dick Miller's on this movie.
I saw that on the cast list. Also, it was Cleopatra 2525.
2022 next year.
That show got 28 episodes, and the Osiris Chronicles got nothing.
Once again, like we have to really stress what got episodes, and this didn't, which both makes me afraid of what we're getting, but also exceedingly excited. Like whatever this is going to present, everyone said no thanks.
Yeah. They were. I mean, and this is 98. So Joe Dante has had a pretty decent career up to this point. I mean, he's done at this point, he's done The Howling, Gremlins, Inner Space, The Burbs, Gremlins 2, Erie, Indiana, Matinee, and then this came out in 98, like after all those things. So he's a well-known figure at this point.
This came out the same year as Small Soldiers.
Yes.
Which, while it was a bit of a failure, was supposed to be gigantic.
Yeah, and that's a decent movie. I kind of like that movie. I have not revisited it in many years, so it may not hold up. But I remember liking it a lot when I watched it initially.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I went to it. We thought it was decent. I mean, it has more of a message than you expect, and I think that's what put people off. Perhaps like it wasn't what they thought it was. It wasn't exactly Toy Story. It was trying to skew the military a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, because like that's the like what it didn't tell you explicitly in the commercials, if I remember correctly, was that the G.I. Joe plastic soldier guys are actually the bad guys.
Yeah.
Which isn't a huge twist, really, but like it wasn't what you were going to do with a very large budget CGI movie at that time.
Yeah. And I mean,
he still had Looney Tunes back in action in the pocket coming up, which everyone remembers very well, which I think will be looked at more fondly once Space Jam 2 comes out.
Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, Dick Miller's in this, so I'm very excited. Honestly, him and John Corbett, I think, might be the only two folks that I totally recognize. Although, now that I'm looking at the cast, one of the leads is Elizabeth Harnoy. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name, but she was Alice in the live-action Adventures in Wonderland TV show that ran on the Disney Channel, and I watched a lot as a kid.
Wow, that once again, I did not have the Disney Channel in Canada, so this is. I always like when you mention these things because it's completely my blind spot.
It's a weird show, and it's worth. I think it's worth checking out just because I remember it being very strange. Like she would go through a closet or something, and then come out into a big set where she was in Wonderland, and she like hung out with the Mad Hatter all the time, and he was like a major character, and the cat was like a weird animatronic thing, and they had these bizarre costumes, like the makeup and stuff on people was really strange and impressive, and it got 100 episodes.
We should mention that the other lead is Carolyn McCormick, who was on Law and Order for many, many years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did not recognize
But so many
her.
people were, so who can keep track of that?
Yeah. But most of these other folks, I don't totally know. There is a guy named Rhino Michaels, which is a great name.
That's a fantastic name. That's a wrestling name.
And there's an actor, Dorothy Gallagher, who plays a character just known as Assaulted Woman.
At least she got on the IMDb, right?
I guess. I mean, that's a terrible character name. Like, give me a name, please.
I mean, it's worse than Doctor or Young Girl or Thief Number 4.
Very true. So, all right, what do we think, before we get into the keywords, which will probably flesh out the ideas that this movie might present a little bit more, what do we think the Osiris Chronicles / the Warlord : Battle for the Galaxy is about?
Well, it depends on who the Warlord is. Like,
true,
because of their lack of unifying aesthetic, I gotta believe that there is a new war on the horizon, and there is some sort of space lord some space warlord who is picking people out to from different civilizations to have them fight this space war. That has been prophesized in the Osiris Chronicles.
So I've got this idea that
new wars on the horizon.
Yes. So I have this thought. What if? So we just recently there was the Amazon film The Tomorrow War, where they have to go. I've not seen it, but I know the premise is that they go back in time and grab a bunch of people to help them fight an evil alien invasion in the future. What if the same...
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, honestly. I have not watched it yet. I hear it's okay. But anyway, so what if there's something similar happening here where these people, the reason they all look different is because they're from different eras, and they've been brought together to fight this new war that is on the horizon. And that maybe like that's what it is. They're like being pulled from different areas of time, and that's why John Corbett looks like he just landed on Plymouth Rock. Like that he's been pulled for some reason from from the Mayflower, and he's been brought into the future to fight this new war that is on the horizon, much like the New World was for him.
Do you think the Earth is destroyed at this point in this timeline? Like the people who are in their space outfits with there's two people who appear to be in uniform, but they aren't even remotely similar uniforms. I must mention that. I must stress that very strongly. That they're both wearing one looks like a combination of Starfleet and a disco outfit, and one is wearing a traditional like admiral type deal with gold shit on his stuff, but they are not even remotely similar. But they're both got their arms crossed.
Yeah.
Like I could see that. I could see it from like different worlds can be. You could say like this world is equal to Plymouth Rock level. America, a whole planet. That's very Star Trek-y.
He gets pulled from one ship and put on another. He goes from his ship that was crossing over from England to the Americas, and then is brought to a spaceship that is...
What do you think his qualifications are that they would pick him out?
I don't know. He's a great navigator.
Like, he's good at leading men?
Sure.
Or he's good at scrubbing decks?
Yes.
He's good at escaping religious...
What if that was the case? They like bring him up and they're like, we heard you were the best mopper around. They just give him a bucket and start telling him to clean up the ship.
What do you think they picked this rebel country music star guy looking fucker? Like, did they pick him from the Florida Georgia line?
This guy is like you mentioned, he's like modern day Billy Ray Cyrus, but also like a vampire from the first Blade movie. Like,
yeah, he kind of looks like that. Like,
he looks like Donald Logue in the first Blade movie.
How is Donald Logue not in this show?
Yeah, this guy's gonna get both his hands cut off.
You think that the alien, though presented as a god figure, staring so hard at this old man, like behind them, like maybe he's actually not that important. They just want to make sure there's a big alien on the cover, and he's actually like their secretary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's the bad guy. I think we can probably safely assume that he's the guy that they're have to fight. But
I assume Country Vampire is also like kind of a tweener. Like he's
probably like a Han Solo type, I bet.
Yeah, he's always arguing with a straight button down puritanical John Corbett. He's like, you can't eat fish on Friday, country music vampire.
We must keep the Sabbath holy.
We must keep the space Sabbath holy, not eat space fish.
So I decided to look up, because this is called, they renamed it to the Osiris Chronicles. Now, I know that wasn't the original title, but maybe there's a reason for it. So I looked up Osiris, the actual Egyptian god, and that's the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the dead, resurrection, life, and vegetation. So basically everything.
What if this alien is trying to impregnate everybody?
maybe it's trying to impregnate the galaxy with its evil ways, or with some sort of weird space worm. And
if you're gonna do this and you're gonna name it after this Egyptian god, like at some point, aren't you just doing Stargate?
Yes, I'm sure that is partially why it was retitled, because I mean, Stargate was what, 94?
94?
Something around there, but I think that maybe the idea of like let's try to tie it to something that people know. I just can't
imagine you just sat there and thought, okay, we're gonna call it the Warlord Battle for the Galaxy. People will go see it, and then someone goes, no, they won't.
Well, what I was going to say, though, is that since Osiris was also the god of the afterlife, the dead, and resurrection, that could play into my idea that these are people from different times who have been resurrected to fight this battle.
You know what these people look like? This show would have done well on mid-2010 USA Network, because this show is where characters are welcome.
Yeah, there's so many characters from so many different times.
Is that person in the middle just a slight woman, or is that a child?
It's a child, because that I think is the girl who played Alice in the show, Elizabeth Harnois.
So she's the Wesley of this show.
Oh, probably. Is she as annoying?
I can't imagine. Like, was Jonathan Brandis annoying on Sequest?
I only vaguely remember that show.
Sequest is also going on the list.
Yeah,
by the way,
I remember that show fairly well.
Too.
But I don't remember him that much on it.
He had a dolphin he talked to.
Yes, I do remember that. I remember the dolphin, and I mostly remember him from Sidekicks.
I mean, most people do. I remember him as a character on the Aladdin cartoon. Not the movies, but the syndicated TV show.
So I have to say that the writer of this thing is Caleb Carr, who is probably best known as the author of The Alienist and The Angel of Darkness, like these books that the Alienist came out in like 94 and I think did fairly well. I think it's recently been adapted into a TV series like a couple years ago. But he wrote like a couple of films, and this happens to be one of them, which is very strange.
I like that he has appeared on Conan O'Brien twice, The first time he was on there with Jay Leno, Zelda Harris, and himself. Second time he's on with Billy D. Williams and Mike Sweeney.
I mean, I think the second one with Billy D was probably better than Jay Leno.
I can't imagine it not being. That sounds like a good time. Imagine it being in a green room in 1994 with Billy D. Williams. On late night, at that point, being completely out of control.
So let's wrap up this mini episode by moving into one of our new favorite features of the rebooted predictocast format, which we don't get to do very often, and if the movies are so obscure that they don't have keywords. But this one does, and we like to look at the plot keywords for films to try to give us a better idea of what the movie is going to be about. And this one is coming through with 66 plot keywords. So let's take a moment to run through these as we've done before, and pick let's pick our 5 favorites.
5 favorites. Okay.
Oh God, I just saw one that is not
Yeah,
my favorite, but terrible.
I saw that one too. But so many that theme is all so often put up these things. People love to make sure those we know what movies have that. I like Sword and Planet as my first one.
Is that a relevant plot keyword to any other film? Apparently so. Okay, well.
Why wouldn't you have one that's sword and one that's planet? What does sword and planet mean as a combination?
It means Dune, Star Wars, and Masters of the Universe.
And John Carter. Let's see. What's your first one you're going with?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Thief as protagonist.
Oh, then we have that's never been done except for on the TV cartoon adaptation of Aladdin.
But I guess that means, so does that mean that John Corbett is some sort of thief? Is he more a Han Solo roguish type?
He might be. That might be why he has a billowy shirt.
Oh, good point. He's wearing a pirate shirt because he's a pirate.
Maybe he's a literal pirate.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe they pulled him from the past from his pirate ship and brought him to the future.
He's Billy the Man. Let's see. Let's go with my second one being pretending to be figment of imagination.
What? Oh, I didn't see that one.
That's gotta be him, like, being called to this space, this new war in space, and being like, oh, this is all my imagination. I'm just dreaming this.
Ooh, that's a better keyword for that is just gaslighting. You're just lying to a person. And when you click on that keyword, it's the only film that has it.
Yeah, it's very relevant for this one movie.
All right, awesome. Okay, my next one is, let's see. New Dark Age.
Oh, I love a new Dark Age.
It's part of that new war that's on the horizon.
It is, but like that, does that mean one of them is from a new Dark Age? Because if they're in space, not really a Dark Age. We didn't really have the first Dark Age. We didn't have so much spaceships.
I'm interested if it's like, so does that mean that we're getting like a dystopian kind of future? So it's like the future where people have maybe reverted. Maybe that's why he's wearing old clothes, because it's sort of gone back to this older era.
And we just all of a sudden wear vests and billowy shirts again because we've forgotten how to make well-tailored clothes in space.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my third one being Villain Turns Good, which could be The Thief.
Yes.
Or it could be our country music vampire.
Yes. Or do we think that the alien in the background becomes a good guy at the end and says, I'm sorry?
We talk about the flanderization of characters, and like in TV shows that run too long, eventually the first villain who has charisma, like a Spike from Buffy, who we always bring up, eventually becomes one of the main characters and a protagonist. But usually like in the edgy protagonist of the group. That usually doesn't happen in the span of one pilot episode.
That's true. And because they wanted this to be a TV show, I don't think they could turn their main evil alien bad guy into a good guy at the end of the
Unless
movie.
there's a bigger warlord who comes into the screen at the last second and they all turn around and go, what?
Okay, maybe.
And then to be continued, and it never is.
All right, for my third one, high on drugs.
So you think someone is lured into this by saying, like, dangling their drugs on a carrot on a stick in front of them?
Ooh, maybe one of those. Maybe that little girl on the cover. She's like a morphine addict or something, and she gets lured into the future to become with these drugs to do something.
Maybe like she's a psychic.
Ooh, maybe.
Which I'm just, because that is one of the keywords, but I'm not going to pick it. And she's on drugs to keep it under control.
Ooh, maybe. That's actually interesting. I like that idea. Let's see. Oh, you're up.
Oh, I'm a brainwashed girl.
Okay.
Probably brainwashed by those drugs.
Ooh. Yeah, all right. I like that. So we've got a new dark age where people are wearing billowy shirts in space. We've got good guys. We got bad guys turning good. We got brainwashed girls who are high on drugs. It's going to be wild.
All in one episode. How was this not picked up?
Ooh, all right. For my fourth one, secret identity.
Secret identity.
So do we have someone
You'll never guess.
Yeah. Do we have someone who's like wearing a mask and we have to figure out who it is?
They're so odd under that mask. I think there's somebody. I hope like maybe they take someone from time who's like really a famous person, but they're pretending not to be because they, for some reason, or someone's a space warlord and they're pretending to be part of the crew.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe the bad guy is with them the whole time and they don't realize it until he reveals himself by shifting his shape, and they realize, oh no, we've been tricked.
We did like morphing technology at the time.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't mind if one of the characters took off their shirt and opened up, and a little door opened up in their chest, and a tiny little alien was inside. I'm going to go with my last one as sped up evolution.
Ooh, I was going to pick that one. I like that. That's interesting.
That means someone was originally like an ape or a cat. Like Cat in Red Dwarf.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't really sped up evolution. Everyone was just asleep for a long time while cats evolved into humans type characters who were very they were a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they do that. Will we see one of our characters like, oh, maybe that's when they pull John Corbett's character from the Mayflower, they have to like dump a bunch of information on him, and it kind of helps him like evolve very quickly.
Maybe he was also a little boy and they just made him grow up really quick.
Yeah, they make him grow really. That I like that. All right, for my last one. You took mine. Let's see. Ooh, told in flashback.
Oh, good, because I want a lot of this self-contained movie to be really filling me in on what happened beforehand.
What if the whole movie is told in a flashback?
This whole movie is going to be expository dialogue in flashback.
This is a movie that's going to start in media res, and the character is going to say, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. And then it's going to jump backwards in time to tell us all about it.
I hope it freezes on a spark explosion behind them as they get shot at by something.
Yes, it's going to like blow up, and then it's going to freeze frame, and we're going to...
No, like, okay, freeze frames, and then across the freeze frame, which now becomes a backdrop, like a green screen, we see Dick Miller come out and go, hey, everyone, what a crazy thing we're watching here. Wouldn't you like to know how we got here? Well, just follow me. And then he narrates the entire next 40 minutes.
Until we catch back up. If they do that, do you think it'll be one of those things where I always find it weird when movies do that, but then they catch back up on themselves like 20 minutes in? You're like, wait, what?
That always strikes me as that wasn't the original plan, and then they went back and watched the screen and they're like, oh fuck, our movie doesn't make any sense, and they have to like add this entire thing on, explaining the central premise of the movie in excruciating detail, and thus crushing the actual rest of the actual movie into a smaller amount of time.
Yes. There was one other keyword that you heard both Skinner and I react to. I'm not going to mention it on here, but I will just say if you are very curious, you can go and look it up. And also, it has something to do with that character that Dorothy Gallagher plays, I bet, named Assaulted Woman. So, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But can't make a movie back then without that.
No, apparently not. But I think that's going to do it for this mini prediction episode. If you want to know what we think about the full film, you're going to have to join us next week when we talk about the Osiris Chronicles / the Warlord : Battle for the Galaxy. But until then, I've been Josh.
I've been Skinner.
And we predict you'll join us. Now to space.
For a whole new war.
It's on the horizon. I can see it.
From our spaceship.
If you like the show, subscribe, rate, and review us over at Apple Podcasts. We're on Twitter and Instagram at predictocast, and you can find our entire back catalog at predictocast.com. Our theme music is by Kyle Sledge. Find more of his work at soundcloud.com/geistmusic. As always, thanks for listening.